and this really opens it up. The water just makes it creamier and just I don't know, man. I'm fanning out because
I
I've been
love
kind of going back and forth here.
absinthe creamy. Creamy is like the ultimate compliment for an absinthe.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I got out of it. Sweet. I didn't even know that was going to be a good. I was hoping it was a compliment. Sweet.
Hi, and welcome to the Liquor Connoisseur. I'm Crystal.
I'm Roger.
Today we have a special guest. We have Absinthia from Absinthia's Bottled Spirits. Welcome, Absinthia. We're happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So I have only had absinthe one other time in my life. We won't talk about that brand, but you probably know which one it is. It's the typical starter absinthe.
I know which one it is.
It's been sitting over in that corner for, well, not in that corner, but it's been sitting in our bar for about 15 years.
Well, I can't wait for you to taste the difference when you taste mine.
Man, because I'm pretty sure I still remember the taste of that one. It's stuck with me.
Yeah, that's actually something that I am sorry, my dogs are all very excited. I think I'm talking to them. That's something that I come across often, which is that people have had absinthe that is just not good and they think they don't like it. And so that's, a challenge, but also an opportunity.
Definitely agree. I have that problem with tequila people. Well, in college, I'm like, it's not the same tequila.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's a good analogy. Yes.
Well, tell us how you got started. Because I love when I first met you, I was like, wait, Absinthia Absinthe. Like, that's just too perfect.
Yeah. So the story of my name is always the first thing that people ask. I first had absinthe in San Francisco in 1996 at a party. It was a San Francisco Cacophony Society party. The Cacophony Society is it's a group of weirdos, artists. It's the group that found the location for Burning Man out in the desert when it got kicked off the beach, if you know that history. And the party was a Proust wake, and there were poetry readings and a life-size cake of Marcel Proust in a coffin and absinthe. And I was terrified of it. I'd heard of it. It had been illegal at that point for about 85 years. And so I'd heard of it, scared of it, didn't quite know what it was. And then finally got up my nerve and had a glass and changed my life forever. 4 months later, I had made some myself, got the recipe, was fascinated it because of its influence on art history. And the very first night I served my two neon green, incorrectly made bottles of absinthe, but what did we know at the time? My friends started calling me Absinthia as a joke, and that stuck. Okay. I continued making absinthe, and I was researching absinthe in Barnaby Conrad's book, History in a Bottle, The Story of Absinthe. And many people think that my first name is the real story, but it's the last name. That's when I realized that my last name, Vermouth, is German for wormwood, because there's a beautiful picture of wormwood in the book, and my last name is at the bottom of it.
Awesome.
Finding your purpose.
That's cool. It couldn't have been more perfect.
What?
Urban me.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up.
That is
my
amazing.
brother had told me that I've been horse thieves, so I never really thought about it after that until I saw it on that page and was like, okay, what's going on here?
That's really neat. Yeah, I love that. This is a great story. One of the things we like to do is spirit education. So that's why we thought it would be great to have you on here, because absinthe has probably the most myths around it in all the spirits.
It does. It's got some great stories, some great lore, some tragedies, some incredible art, poems, opera songs. I mean, it's amazing. So, the majority of people, and I once thought that a man named Dr. Pierre Ordinaire, who has the best name, was the one who created absinthe. That he was a doctor from France who had traveled to Switzerland because he was exhausted or something, so the story goes. And then either his maid or his lover, Marguerite Henriade, got the recipe when he died. Anyway, that is all nonsense. Okay. Dr. Pierre Ordinaire was a bad actor who had literally escaped from France because he was in trouble, and ended up in this town in Val de Travers, Switzerland, where Marguerite Henriade was making absinthe herself. She and her sons had a distillery and a cabaret. And he was given so there was a letter written by the mayor of that town at the time saying that he was a public nuisance and everybody wanted to get rid of him. So he's been discredited, but because he was male and a doctor and French, it made the story much better. It made absinthe more legitimate than if it came from, just some woman making it with local herbs, right?
Wow.
But the real story is that she was making it, Madame Henriade, and she sold it to Major Dubaid, whose son-in-law was Pernod. And that's how Pernod became the first absinthe. They moved it from Switzerland to France shortly after because of the taxes in Switzerland were too high.
Yeah. Man, that is such a neat story.
Yeah. See, the truth is better than the fiction.
Yes.
Always. Yes.
Yeah.
Then, there was just so much going on. There was phylloxera in France right around the time that the French soldiers brought it back. They were using it to add to their water so that their water was safe to drink in Northern Africa. And when they brought it back, the French wine was going through phylloxera, which is a louse. And so they had to burn most of the grape fields in France. And so absinthe just took off. It was 90% of what people were drinking. And when the wine came back, everybody loved absinthe and nobody really cared. And the French wine industry didn't like that one bit. So they wanted an anti-absinthe campaign. It was kind of like Reefer Madness. And then in 1904, a man named Jean Lefray had a glass of absinthe with breakfast. And then he proceeded to drink brandy and wine throughout the entire day. And he was just a raging alcoholic, and alcoholism was not well understood. And got home at the end of the day, and his wife hadn't cleaned his boots, so he killed her. She was pregnant. He killed his daughter, and they ultimately killed himself in prison. And they blamed absinthe. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
There's so much history. I love the story you tell about that anti-campaign where they sent people to rehab, and I think you said when they got out, they gave them a bottle of wine.
Yes, because it was healthy. And it wasn't rehab. It was an insane asylum.
Okay.
Now, we understand alcoholism a little bit better these days. But it was so easy to just say that alcoholism was absinthism. And absinthe made you crazy. So you go to an insane asylum and then you go home and you drink wine because it's healthy.
Wow.
Now I wonder, because absinthe is made with herbs, and I know yours is naturally made.
Yes.
I would say it would probably actually be healthier than wine.
I
know the alcohol aside.
That's arguable. Like legally, I can't make any health claims about my alcohol. Right. I don't know. It's distilled, so it's probably cleaner. And synthetic wormwood is used in malaria medication. Absinthe does settle the stomach. It freshens the breath. I like to tell people, if you're having a bunch of old men over for dinner, give them a glass of absinthe afterwards, and it'll be a much nicer, more pleasant conversation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm ready to crack it open.
Absolutely.
I think after all those stories, we need a drink.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
And then on your website, you have...
I recently relocated to New Orleans, and I found these awesome little glasses at a thrift store here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. We're going to use some Copa glasses to start with.
Okay.
Just to
see how it is. Yeah. Neat. Because I haven't had it.
Neat.
Yes. I recommend people try it neat to start, just to get a taste, but it is 110 proof, so keep that in mind. And when you're tasting especially neat alcohol, you want to give it, don't judge it on the first sip, the second or third. Yeah. The first sip really burns the mouth. The taste buds thinks it's like a pepper or capsicum. And so you need the taste buds to sort of settle in, and then you can taste it.
We like to say sip to discover.
Yes.
I like that.
You ready to
Oh,
discover?
man, ooh, this is
So I will
cute.
say on the nose, I don't get that because again, I'm a newbie. That strong licorice flavor, which I think you said is caused by some of the herbs, it's not really licorice. It's
Right. There should never be licorice in absinthe. It's anise. So you have a bottle of my Blanche.
yes.
The Blanche, it has a great story behind it, of course, like everything with absinthe. The Blanche was really popular during the ban because if you didn't color your absinthe green, nobody knew what it was.
Okay, that makes
Sorry
sense.
if you can hear my dogs behind me.
That's okay. My guest to the left of me entered the scene for a little while. You'll see it at some point. Yeah.
So
Cheers.
the Blanche is simply the 4 herbs that I use, which are wormwood, anise, and fennel. That's the holy trinity of herbs. I also include a little bit of coriander, so it's based on vintage Swiss recipes. And that is distilled with grapes from Napa Valley. And then we just lightly filter it and bottle it, and that's the Blanche. And that's what you guys are drinking.
This is
Blanche
great.
is French for white. We could also call it Blanco.
This makes your mouth water. Like, see, this is really tasty. Like, okay, I get it now. I get it now.
Little different
Look.
from the bottle you have on the
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we won't name that one.
You know, where we had to, get the sugar cube and the spoon,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's
The
so bitter
hallucinogen.
that it needs sugar, and it shouldn't be like that.
Nope.
Sugar was a status symbol. Sugar was
Okay.
the thing. It was the thing. People put it in their bedside water. Like sugar was it, man. And then, over time we discovered that like maybe we shouldn't be having a lot of sugar, not really good for your health occasionally. Yes, of course. But I worked really hard to make an absinthe that doesn't need the sugar. And so it's
this
got that
tastes
natural
naturally sweet to
sweetness.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a natural sweetness from the grapes.
And it's balanced. So the wormwood anise is like, it's not, I think the anise was forward like so much on some of the others to the point where it's hard.
It's the only herb you get.
Yeah. This is a lot more balanced.
It's like they cycle through. I taste this one and I taste that one. I feel like I end with the coriander. Little pepper.
Yeah. You get a slight hint of pepper on there.
This is delicious.
Thank you.
55% alcohol. Yeah. This is I'm
This is
surprised.
dangerous.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised at this.
It's up on you.
Yeah, it's definitely punching above its weight.
Am I gonna see the fairy?
Hi.
Here in a minute.
Hi.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, she's like, "Hi, I am here."
I am the fairy.
Sweet.
So you make about 3 or 4 other absinthes, correct?
I do, yeah. So I'm having the absinthe vert tonight. See if we can get that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the traditional green absinthe. I've poured it in my glass.
Oh, okay.
Add some water to see it loosh. I have a butterfly pea flower absinthe that I'm out of stock on right now. We'll be making more soon. And I have a barrel-aged absinthe. And
Oh man.
this one I was inspired to make because another brand was making it and I didn't like theirs.
Gotcha.
And I was talking to my vendors and none of them wanted to carry it anymore. They were all like putting it on sale. And I was like, let me see if I can figure this out. And so I rested the same liquid that's in the bottle of the Blanche, the bottle of the Vert. So the Vert is rested in herbs to color green. The blue, we add some butterfly pea flower extract. The barrel age, we put in ex-rye oak barrels for about 5 months. And that's a nod to the Sazerac. And so it's got this wonderful oaky quality to it. And when you just mix a little water and an ice cube, it's like a glass of Chardonnay because it's just like this oaky. It still tastes like an absinthe. Yeah, it's don't tell my other absinthes, but it's my current favorite.
That's gonna be that's the one I wanted to start with.
That's what I want to have next.
But I was telling you start at the beginning.
Yes, the Blanche is the most subtle. It does not have a lot of anise in it, and you'll see that in the difference of the loosh.
Okay.
Oh, be quiet, Barker.
Hey, babe,
Oh, and there's yours.
this is out of hand. Just because you hear guest does not mean you need to be it. She's not gonna rub you. Come on. Not right now. She's way over there. Nice.
So you say you use rye barrels in the barrel age as an ode to the Sazerac. What's the history of the Sazerac with with absinthe?
So the Sazerac is a cocktail where you rinse the glass with absinthe before you build the cocktail. There's a number of cocktails that do that. The Sazerac was the first. It is the official cocktail of New Orleans. Right after absinthe, little sidebar, right after absinthe was made legal in 2007, again, I'm not going to name names, but someone decreed that it was only a true Sazerac in New Orleans if you used Absinthe. And Absinthe is absinthe without the wormwood, which means it's not absinthe. And so I am here in New Orleans, and everyone I talk to is like, oh yeah, we need real absinthe for our cocktails, the Herb Saint, you know. But it's owned by a big company and a very wealthy man. So, you know.
Gotcha.
David and Goliath story here.
Gotcha. So do you have people that prefer Rainbow?
Come on now. This is hey, you need to
You're making me feel better. You're making me feel better.
I'm going to go put you in.
The interesting thing about the Sazerac is because of phylloxera, it was originally cognac, and when the wine was not, the grapes were not available, it switched to rye Sazerac. So you can still ask for I don't remember the exact name of it, but you can still ask for a Sazerac with cognac, but the most commonly made now is with the rye Sazerac. The rye whiskey.
I would just try that though, just for fun.
Because I like cognac.
It's also good with both Peychauds and a little Angostura too. So yeah, play it around, mix it up.
Will do. All right, so we've done it neat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's loosh.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's loosh.
Let's get some with a little bit of water in it. Now, using these glasses.
So what is the proper way to loosh?
So the proper way is to put it under an absinthe fountain and let the water slowly drip in.
Okay.
Which is wonderful if you have the time for that. I don't feel like most Americans really want to sit and watch water drip into their glass. So you can pour your water in. You can use ice. There was, no ice back in the day when sugar was trending. I love ice. So, as long as you don't light your absinthe on fire or light the sugar cube on fire, I'm cool with whatever you want to do. However you like it is great. Is fine by me.
That's what they do on the internet, though. They light it on fire, make it look cool.
Yeah, exactly. It started in the 1990s because they wanted to sell really, bad absinthe on the internet illegally and make it really cool. So it caught a lot of attention that way, but it's not traditional. And it damages the absinthe. And frankly, it's just dangerous to light your booze on fire.
Somewhere that's alcohol abuse.
I would agree. That's a good way to do it, to drop it in with a straw.
Cool.
Right. So when you loosh, it becomes like a smoky color or smoke color.
Yeah, it gets cloudy.
Milk. There we go.
Yeah.
No, I need
Might need more water. Okay.
You know what? You taking too long.
Okay, that's fine.
I guess you said.
You know what I'm saying?
We ain't got time.
Pour it in there. Let's see what happens.
Cheers. I would say start 1-to-1 absinthe to water, and then you can balance it from there. Per your taste buds. But absinthe really does show you when it's properly looshed. Now, again, the Blanche is very light on anise, but the rest of the products, if there is, now this is properly looshed because it's the same color all the way through.
Nice.
But if you're adding water and there's still a band right here that's a different color than the rest of the glass, that's your absinthe showing you that she needs more water.
Oh, okay.
Gotta water your absinthe.
Yeah.
I can take care of absinthe. I can do that. And I can't water a plant, but I can water a drink. This is nice.
Let's see if I.
Man, I love this. So we've looshed. We've had it neat. So what else what flavors do you recommend to put with the absinthe?
Absinthe is so versatile. The reason why you rinse the glass for the Sazerac is not so much for the taste, but the aroma. So there's really very subtle aroma cocktails like the Sazerac. There's cocktails like the Absinthe Frappé, which is very strong on the absinthe, and you can do anything in between. So you can use it as a bitter. You can use it as equal parts. I've actually used it to replace gin in a Negroni before. It's pretty strong, but it was really good.
I was gonna ask, because they're both herb based, I was like, what is the true difference between absinthe and gin?
The herbs. The difference in the herbs. And that is and the fact that the traditional green absinthe, you rest it to color it green. In herbs to color it green. But that is really the difference. And absinthe and gin pair really well together. And when people aren't quite understanding what it is, I tell them it's just like gin, but with different botanicals.
Yeah, no, that's
So
exactly
the holy trinity of herbs in absinthe. Let me give you the definition. The definition of absinthe, which is only legally defined. I should probably have done this in the beginning. Only legally defined in Switzerland, which is why you'll have absinthes that are not good. They're incorrect. They're artificially colored. So absinthe must be distilled and must contain that holy trinity of herbs, which again is wormwood, and that's grand wormwood or Artemisia absinthium, fennel seeds, sweet fennel seeds, and aniseed, not star anise. Star anise is from Southeast Asia.
Okay.
And
That's
Marguerite Henriot did not have access to herbs from Southeast Asia in Val de Travers, Switzerland in the 1700s. So, and then there's a little bit of coriander in mine as well, which again is traditional. But you have to have those three herbs. Once you have those three herbs, you can pretty much do anything else with the herbs. It must not be artificially colored. It must not have sugar in the bottle, and it must not have herbs floating in it. So no artificial colors, sugars, or herbs. I've seen a bottle in a liquor store in Mexico City with herbs, and it looked like it had been sitting on the shelf a really, really long time, and it was a bottle of absinthe with compost at the bottom of it.
Oh, wow. That is not the presentation you want.
No. And, I like my bottles to be bottled and sealed, and the way it looks and tastes in the distillery is what the customer gets. If herbs are going to be sitting in there for God knows how long until that bottle gets to where it needs to go, it's going to change.
Yeah.
Those herbs are strong, so it would change a lot.
Right. Yeah. So, and then gin is, what is gin? Junipers and angelica, and one
You
of
get a lot of that baking spice taste.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we call gin Christmas in a glass.
Nice. Yeah. Yes. I can see that. Yeah, just like there's lots of different gins, lots of different whiskeys, there's lots of different absinthes, not at the quantity of whiskey yet. But absinthe's only been legal since March 5th of 2007. And if you look at the numbers, it was supposed to just explode right when it was released or made legal again. The ban was lifted. There was really no law against it. But the economy crashed in 2008 and 2009. And so the graph of absinthe being legal and absinthe sales is pretty flat until about 2014 or 15. And then all of a sudden it just starts to climb. And what I find really interesting is that it's growing in the United States more than it is anywhere else in the world, even though it's really associated with France and the Czech Republic and Switzerland. The interest in it is growing faster here in America than anywhere else in the world.
Well, I guess it's probably normalized in the other countries, whereas here we're just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I mean, people still think, it's hallucinogenic, or it'll make you blind, or it's illegal, or we make it differently. One of the reasons for that is because the amount of thujones allowed in U.S. absinthe is, I mean, you could say different. People say different than it is in the EU. In the U.S., it's 10 parts per million of thujones, which is the toxin that wormwood makes when you cook with it. You'll find it in your Thanksgiving stuffings if you include sage. It's really not that bad. We've all consumed thujones before, but it's 10 parts per million here, and it's 35 in the EU. But if you run those two numbers on a calculator, there's so many zeros after that decimal point that I feel like it's two ways of saying zero, because once you distill wormwood, it's perfectly safe to drink. All those thujones are gone in the process.
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. So much. So I've got so much research to do.
Well, I can help you with that. I have my own podcast, Green Fairy Tales.
Cool.
And that is on Apple and Spotify, produced by Eats Drinks TV. And then I am working with the American Distilling Institute right now to publish a book called The Green Fairies Canvas, Absinthe Influence on Art and Culture.
I like this.
Let us know. We will pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Leaving links down below. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. Education is
we're a bit away from that, but it is written. It's complete, and it's probably another run through of edits and changes. But yeah, I'm excited.
Man, you should be. You're gonna make a movement with absinthe. Like,
I'm working on it.
I wonder, with it being so, I mean, it's most popular now in the US, but do you sell over in the EU?
I don't, and the reason for that is tariffs and shipping.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm hoping someday. I would really love to get into Mexico, but they have 70% import tariffs.
Wow.
So hopefully I'll get to the point where I'll find a distiller down there, import the ingredients, and then bottle it down there. And then it will be at an affordable level, because if I had to mark it up with 70% import tariffs, no one would be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yay, tariffs.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yes.
So what?
The answer to every question is money, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
So what is a typical ABV of absinthe?
It can be anywhere between 47 and 72 or 3%. So it's a wide range. I chose 55% because, well, I personally don't like, and this is going to sound funny because it's 110 proof, but I don't like terribly hot booze, because I feel like you just can't really taste it that much because it's just hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it looshed properly. I mean, it's just everything, the mouthfeel, everything just at that. Because, it comes out of the still over 90%. And so we slowly water it down to the right proof that we want it to be. And 55 was just the sweet spot.
There's another myth bust in there. The higher the proof doesn't mean the higher the burn.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sometimes it just amplifies flavor.
Mm-hmm.
We've noticed that in some of our other spirits we sip on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like New Dawn, who you just met, Dawn from New Dawn Distilling.
Yes, that was so fun.
It was a great night. Sister Supply Chain has been an amazing friend of the podcast.
I love what Ursula is doing.
Yes, definitely. Bringing a lot of, what did we say, badass women together?
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. Yes.
Yeah, I love their new campaign that they're doing. It's for women. We don't just drink pink.
That's right.
And so Absinthia had done a video. I don't know if I'm going to do a video. I was like, I'm going to leave that to the founders. So
you could do it. You could hold up a few of your friends' bottles.
I could. I own lots of my friends' bottles that I've met through Sister Supply Chain. So
yeah, you could be surrounded by
a whole
them.
mini bar.
Yeah, surrounded by them. That would be great.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, she's bringing me back a T-shirt from the conference in Texas, which I think is this week.
Yeah, it was over the weekend. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Were you all there?
No, we didn't get to go. We had to go to another event. We were actually at a fundraiser for Soldiers Wish. It's a organization that grants soldiers wishes.
Oh,
So they
cool.
raised money to do that. So it was really cool to do that. We were in Tulsa over the weekend. And so we
Nice.
just had a great time being there, experiencing that, and just seeing the good that organization does. We were invited there because Ho Chi Town Distilling, one of the local distilleries in Oklahoma, invited us as a guest to shoot some footage and promote. And it was just amazing. Their vodka, they created a label for Soldier's Wish. And so a portion of the proceeds go to the organization.
Love that.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So it was really good to see. I mean, when you think about Soldier's Wish, like, oh man, they probably got something really cool. Some of them just wanted the basic needs of life.
Yeah.
And so it's great
Right.
that they're able to provide that.
Right. Yeah, it's sad the way we treat our vets in this country.
It is.
Yeah.
But definitely a toast to them for doing that work, because
Absolutely.
that is not something I could do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this really opens it up. The water just makes it creamier and I don't know, man. I'm fanning out because I've been kind of going back and forth here.
Creamy. Creamy is like the ultimate compliment for an absinthe.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I got out of it. Sweet. I didn't even know that was going to be I was hoping it was a compliment. Sweet.
Yes.
Because that's what I get. It just it rounds it out. It just, I don't know. I'm going back and forth here. Hold on. Yeah. It's something about just that water just
opens up those botanicals.
Yes.
Yeah. With no sugar cube and no fire.
Right.
We got there without all of that. That's great.
I love how simple it is to make a great drink with absinthe. You know, that and another myth, adding water does not hurt the drink.
That's right.
Yeah.
It opens up the botanicals in absinthe.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do like a myth count in this video.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure some of our followers are going to be like, huh, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I didn't. I'm learning stuff right now.
Oh, same.
Yes.
Like I said, I got a lot of research to do. This is definitely one of those spirits you don't talk about enough. It's good. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. I talk about it too much.
Well, keep going. We need this.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to direct traffic to your channel, your blogs, and all of that good stuff. Where you
please
write
do.
Yeah, we're going to do that because.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thank you.
I still work with people that fear this, and they think it caused all kinds of evils. So
yeah, I mean, when you come across people that are afraid, you tell them that the reason it's legal again is it was proven scientifically by modern science that it's perfectly safe to drink, that it's just like gin but with different herbs, and that Amaros and vermouths always contained wormwood, but they were never outlawed. So clearly it's not the wormwood.
So with your last name being Vermouth,
yes,
are you an outlaw?
Well, I did spend a good 15 years as a bootlegger.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Every brand has a great start.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I was called Absinthia on the first time was April Fool's Day, 1997, and absinthe wasn't made legal till 10 years later. And then it took me about 10 years to launch the business. I'm an artist, a photographer and an art historian. And I knew nothing about launching a business, no less an alcohol business in America with a 3-tier system and distilleries and all of that. So it took me a minute to get it rolling, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We hope to have our own brand someday, so we know it takes time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, we figured, doing this podcast, we can taste everybody else's product and see how we want ours to taste.
There you go. There you go. And then you can have the rest of us say, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had that a few times.
Yeah.
It's
We've already,
hard.
we know it's tough. We know it. In
It's
fact, we're
hard.
gaining respect
Oh my gosh.
for every level of the
Yeah.
industry.
As a small bootstrapped brand, I am up against brands that have, huge backings, companies with hundreds of products. And when they release something new, they've got distribution globally and they just plop it on all the shelves and make a bunch of ads and they've made their money. It's not like that for an individual producer, especially a woman-owned business.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's one of the things we love about our shows. We want to review those craft brands, those smaller brands. We don't want to just do the big box brands, the ones that are commercial towards us.
They don't need it.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They will be fine.
Right.
We know.
The better brands are the ones we don't hear about. So we want to uplift them, give them a voice.
Yeah.
Because more people need to know. Like what we are advertised, what we're seeing in most of our stores is not the quality that we think we're getting. It's not the flavors that we should be experiencing some of the times.
That's right.
That's why we love to do this. And I love that people are now being able to sell like you are on your site.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't tell you, I don't think you're in Oklahoma, are you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But you can order it online.
Sure can.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. Yeah, just like this one. Yes.
I have a little 3-pack, 2 ounces of the Blanche, the Vert, and the barrel aged if you don't want to invest in a full-size bottle of all 3.
Sweet.
Oh, those would be great stocking stuffers.
They are great stocking stuffers. They're in really pretty boxes with recipes on the back. Great stocking stuffers. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, I might have to give some.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah.
Man, well, this has been an amazing experience. I'm sure we could go on for a long time dispelling myths of absinthe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
the first episode of my podcast is 5 myths of absinthe. And we covered a lot of that today.
Nice. Well, we'll definitely put the link to your podcast as well as your website.
Thank you.
Because people need to know more about you and your brands. Because you don't just make absinthe. You also have mixers.
I do. Yes. The one right back here. This was inspired by my customers who said, I love absinthe, but I'm not drinking right now. What can I have? And the reasons varied, pregnant, dry January, whatever it was. And so I created Fairy Dust, which is simply invert sugar, water, and natural flavors of anise, wormwood, and fennel. So it's an absinthe-inspired mocktail. It's also good in margarita.
I love tequila.
It was created as a way to enjoy the flavors of absinthe without the alcohol.
That's
cool.
Nice. I like that. That's good. Because we have some of those friends as well.
Yes.
That's great.
Nice.
That's great.
Well, that's really cool. Well, we will be listening to the podcast so we can learn more. We appreciate you being here today. This was a long time in the making.
It was.
Thank you for being here. And like we like to toast at the end. And we like to say, always drink to remember, not to forget. Cheers.
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 I see the dogs cheersing in the back.
Yes, he is.
I thank our other guest.
Yes, our little furry guest.
Yeah.
They'll pump up the views though. That's the cool thing about it.
I can help out.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
We might have to do an episode where we just have the dog and pretend it's us.
There you go. Go, Eva. Come here. Yeah.
So what's next for you and your brand?
So like I mentioned, I moved to New Orleans in July. And I am here. I am growing the brands. I'm working on the book. I'm not going to create any new products for a little while. I kind of, 4 mixers and 4 absinthes is already a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, working on the podcast, the book, and more distribution and more accounts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Man, I'm feeling good right now.
I know, right? And I'm nerding out. Like this I like the chemistry behind all of it. So
So if you
I get,
notice, this wall behind us is pretty bland. It's like, yeah, and today we're going to talk about for the 50th time.
yeah. We don't have a lot of different cool things. So yeah,
Good. I'm glad
this is
that
really
you think
good.
that's different and cool.
Yeah,
And
it
you
is.
will
Right.
feel good when you don't add sugar. You know, it really makes a difference in how you feel the next morning.
Another
Yeah,
myth.
that's I tell you what, like the adding of the sugar and some of these other can make the morning ouch.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
you mentioned in the beginning of our conversation what tequila used to be, and it was half like corn syrup or sugar or some nonsense, and you would go through it and act crazy, and then feel like dog do the next morning.
yes, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're trying to push past that.
While my
We've
collection
grown.
still has some tequilas with some additives in it, we try to only show the ones on the show that are additive free.
Yeah,
it can be hard to know about that. They can hide
It is
them.
very hard and just got made harder by the CRT, actually. Tequila Matchmaker had to pull their whole list down. You can no longer say you're certified, additive free. There's a whole thing they're doing to disguise that. And granted, I mean, in the laws, yes, you can have up to 1% of those 4 different additives, but I reserve the right as a consumer to know which ones those are, what it is. What if I'm allergic? You
Right.
know? And that's part of the other thing that we like to educate on here is being aware of what you're drinking as a consumer.
Yes. I mean, how come I know more about, I don't know, what's in my yogurt than what's in my bottle of booze?
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
you'll be surprised at how some of them are packaged and things like that. Like I think in wine they may use like egg a little bit, like to help seal it. I can't remember. I read it. But there are things that, we use in products to do different things in different industries that you just wouldn't think would be in there. Like
Right.
you'll have, I forgot what product it was. It was like, and also contains peanuts. And you're like, this isn't even food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not mind I have to put the ingredients on the mixers because there's no alcohol in it. But the absinthe has alcohol in it, therefore it doesn't need an ingredients or nutritional label.
Yeah.
That's something that I've always thought about. Like when I first started, I was thinking that I would like make that my platform, and then I realized that I got enough work to do.
Yeah. It's another extra added step. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's something that I've always thought about. Like, why don't I know what's in my booze?
Yeah, I mean that's something we're considering when we start our brand, and I've looked into it. It costs a little bit more to put that label on there to get the testing done, to certify what's in it.
Yeah, when you do the right thing, you always have to pay extra. That's why I don't have the organic logo on my bottles anymore. I did in the beginning, but it wasn't worth it.
Wow. So it just became too expensive to showcase, although it's
Not
still
only
the same
expensive, but
product.
time consuming too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean,
Unfortunate for the consumer because now they're like,
Yeah.
well, the first thing I think of when something like that is removed from the bottle, the assumption from a consumer standpoint is that, okay, well, that's no longer true. And from a consumer, I'm not knowing that just become too expensive to do for you and that
it was a
you didn't
business
change the
decision.
product. You just had to
Exactly.
change the label. So
Exactly.
I don't like that because
No.
that hurts the consumer on the back end
Mhm.
because they're like, oh wow, I wonder what happened, and they'll
Right.
likely never know unless they look at this video or and no telling. I mean, you're clearly not the only one. I know there had to be
Of
other
course.
producers out there. They're like, yeah, that was what I was able to do for a time, and now I had to remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that at all.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start a fund or an organization around to help brands that are organic to be able to afford it so that people can know what it is they're drinking.
Yeah.
I like that. Will we be able to get the organic certifiers to move a little faster?
Yeah, that would be great,
That would
wouldn't
be
it?
awesome.
Yeah, I know it had to be difficult to get it in the first place, and then it's like, okay, now I'm shouldering it, and you let it go, and you're like, okay, I got to start that process all over again. Probably.
So what is
Right.
that process like?
Oh, it's been years, and the thing was that it changed each time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very complicated. And part of it too was that what was it? It was like the hoses that we used for filling the bottle had to be certified, and like those were crazy expensive. I mean, it was just silly,
yeah.
you know?
Wow.
And it makes me sad because that trickles all the way down to the people who grow our food. It's cheaper for them to do it, conventional than organic.
Yeah.
What's to incentivize anybody to make sure our food is healthy?
There's more incentive to make sure it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It costs more money and takes more time to do it right.
That's why I find it interesting when you talked about earlier how sugar was a luxury, and now
Mhm.
you can't get it out of anything. It's so
everywhere.
much a part of our diet.
Right. Right.
Man.
Yeah, and they didn't have saccharin and equal and all that other stuff.
No, just straight up sugar.
Splenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. So I got a question. Are you thinking about, with the barrel age being so amazing, since you do it in rye, have you thought about doing it in other casks?
I certainly could. I hadn't thought about that, but now I yeah, now you got me thinking about it.
Cask finishes have been something, you start off drinking the bad stuff, then you drink the good stuff, and then you're like, what's next? And to me, it's cask finishes. So
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's doing like sherry casks or different.
Yeah. A sherry cask might be really good.
Yeah.
Man. Keep us updated on if you do that.
Well, now you've got the wheels rolling.
It would be awesome. It's probably something that may not have been done within the absinthe community.
No, I don't think it has. The barrel aged is very unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to see it pop up. Barrel aged gin, barrel aged vodka. We've got a couple of those.
Yep. Everyone's barrel aging these days because it's good.
It's something about the barrel.
Barrel aging makes it taste good.
It does. Well, again, we appreciate you. We don't want to hold you. I know you're very extremely busy, but thank you so much for taking the time out to be on the Liquor Connoisseur.
Yes. You are so welcome. Thanks for having me on. It was great chatting with y'all.
You as well. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.